Hey everybody, it's me, Joe Pisano with What's Wrong with Wrestling. And as part of our favorite guys and their favorite matches series, I'm going to do my favorite wrestler, Shawn Michaels.
Well,
let's start with number 10.
I already did Shawn Michaels.
You already did Shawn Michaels?
Yeah.
My favorite wrestler.
Yeah, he's mine too, yeah.
Well, but I knew him first.
So?
You already did Shawn?
Yeah.
What the hell, man? I guess I'll do Macho, but I don't even have a Macho Man. Hey everybody, it's me, Joe Pisano with What's Wrong with Wrestling. And I'm going to show you my top 10 favorite Macho Man Randy Savage matches. Number 10, Macho Man versus HBK. That's right, Andrew. HBK is in my list. But honestly, this is not a well-known match, but we do know that these are two of the greatest performers in the history of the company. If you actually go and watch the match online, it's actually a pretty good match. You've got this kind of cool dynamic with Sherry there. You know, Macho Man's the champion. You know, Elizabeth's back. It's all this kind of cool stuff going on, but it's actually not a bad match. So that's my number 10. Number 9, Macho Man versus Ric Flair, Prime Time Wrestling. So this match was for the WWF Championship. Not the WrestleMania match though. This one was on Primetime Wrestling. And you've got Mr. Perfect, who I love, interfering in the match. You know, here comes Razor Ramon. He's interfering in the match. It was like a 3-on-1 match. And it ends with Ric Flair putting him in the figure 4. And Macho Man eventually passes out. This was his Stone Cold moment before that was ever a thing. And a lot of people think this is one of his greatest matches of all time. And so do I. Number 8, Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Hitman Bret Hart, Saturday night's main event. I'm not going to go too much into this match. It's two great performers, two guys, you know, pretty much in their prime. Bret Hart was kind of coming up, Savage maybe on the decline, but it was an overall great match and I really enjoyed it. That's my number 8. Number 7, Macho Man versus Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 7. This match was a retirement match. Who's going to retire? Well, we all knew who was probably going to lose this match. You know, look, Warrior kicked out of like 1,000 elbow drops. He was the Roman Reigns of the time, but we still loved him for some reason. Yet, at the end of the match, Sherry kind of beats on Macho, and then who's going to come for the save? Miss Elizabeth. They reunite, and then boom, Savage goes off and retires. And then keeps wrestling. Number 6, Macho Man Randy Savage versus George the Animal Steele, Saturday night's main event. So of course this match between Macho Man and George the Animal Steele was for Miss Elizabeth. It's like, here you go Animal, you won her, enjoy. But basically the whole match revolved around Macho Man not protecting Miss Elizabeth. George was worried about her. It was a super sweet thing, especially as a kid. Like I said, it was one of my favorite matches. And he keeps protecting her, and ultimately it's his downfall. He's outside the ring. The ref starts counting. You know, Macho Man throws the chair that Miss Elizabeth was sitting in on top of him. And of course, Jesse Ventura, who was announcing the match, says, "And the idiot Steele has been counted out." Number 5, Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ric Flair, WrestleMania 8. So of course you got two of the biggest icons in the history of the sport. You've got WrestleMania, the biggest stage. Flair comes in with the strap. Macho Man's trying to beat him. It was a great match. You had Mr. Perfect. You had all kinds of people. I think Bobby Heenan was on commentary. There was a ton going on, but in the end, Randy Macho Man Savage wins the title, takes it from Flair, and becomes champion. Oh yeah. Yeah! Number 4, Macho Man Randy Savage versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 5. This match probably had the best build-up of all time in any wrestling match ever, because they were the mega powers. They united. They were a team. And then, you know, Hogan, you've got wandering eyes, or whatever he tells them when they start to fight, and Elizabeth kind of gets in the middle, and it all leads up to them fighting for the title at WrestleMania 5. Of course, Savage takes the heel turn. Hogan, of course, goes over, and Hogan wins the title. But it was just a great match with a great build-up involving a lady. Number 3, Macho Man Randy Savage versus Tito Santana for the IC title at Boston Garden. As a kid, this match was so crucial to like me loving and hating wrestling, because it was the first time as a kid that I saw a bad guy cheat to win a title. I was so angry. He reached in his tights and he was kind of playing like pocket pinball in there, and finally pulls out the foreign object, which, I don't know, looked like a giant spark plug. It wasn't brass knuckles, it was just this big white thing. And he pulls it up and he hits him in the eye. Of course, the ref doesn't see it. He goes down, he pins him, and it's over. He wins the title. I was so mad as a little adorable 11-year-old. But you know what? It made me hate to love to hate wrestling. Number 2, Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat, WrestleMania 3. Of course, what's known as one of the greatest matches of all time, and especially greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. I believe it was 27 pin attempts. These guys brought both of their A games. Both of them were in their primes. A lot of action, a lot of good stuff. Of course, Steamboat wins. It didn't even matter. It was a match where it didn't even matter who won at the end. We just super enjoyed it, and it made you really want to be a wrestling fan. So that's my number 2. Number 1, Bonesaw Randy Savage versus the Amazing Spider-Man, Manhattan, New York. That's right, it's the big Bonesaw match. Are you guys ready? Bonesaw's ready! No, I'm just kidding. That's not in my top 10. But who didn't love that part of the movie? Number 1, Macho Man versus Ted DiBiase, WrestleMania 4. So, as a kid, you know, I loved to root for the good guy. I was a pretty big Hogan fan like everybody else was. But when they finally pushed Randy Savage, right? It was that first time where they took a bad guy who was evil and horrible and beat his girlfriend and did all these bad things, finally now made the turn, and now he's a good guy, and now they have him coming up, and he had to beat like 4 guys to win the title. Of course, you had the crazy tournament where Hogan and Andre get buys. They get first-round buys, which makes sense. They're Hogan and Andre, but then they face each other in the second round, and then they get double disqualified or whatever, and then you've got DiBiase wins 1 match and goes to the finals, and then of course Macho Man has got to beat like Butch Reed and One Man Gang, and then finally gets to the finals and faces Ted DiBiase, and you really didn't know, especially as a kid, what was going to happen in this match. I really thought maybe DiBiase wins, maybe Andre helps him. Is Hogan coming out? I don't know. But of course Hogan came out. Hogan helps Savage win, of course. You have to have Hogan involved in a title match back then. Drops the elbow, pins him 1, 2, 3, and wins his first WWF title. It was an amazing moment. One of the biggest reasons why I love Macho Man Randy Savage. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. What's wrong with wrestling? Back then, not a whole lot.